Hey, and welcome to the Meditations and Musings podcast. I'm Elena Lipson. I'm a mama, I'm a wife, and I'm the founder of the Divine Self-Care Circle membership and the Virtual Retreat Academy. I don't believe that you have to sacrifice your body, your health, or your family in order to create true abundance and prosperity. I believe in living based on the divine feminine metrics of success, and these include pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. Each week, I'll bring you 1 to 2 new episodes. One of these will be a guided meditation that you don't have to do on the meditation pillow, and the other will be a conversation to help you access your inner wisdom, to ignite abundance, and inspire others to do the same. I invite you to join me on this journey back to the magic of a divinely aligned and well cared for you. And now, join me for today's episode. Welcome back to the Meditations and Musings podcast. This is Elena Lipson, your self-care coach, your inner manifestation, abundance, magic mentor, all the things on the inside. Today, I want to share with you a few reflections on what you can do when you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed. Now, overwhelm is a topic that you might hear a lot about, especially if you're an entrepreneur or a mom or live life in the world today. And anxiety is another one of these topics that a lot of people don't talk about. I think for fear of shame or admitting that you're vulnerable, or I don't know. It's just one of these things that we think makes us too human, right? Like we feel embarrassed about the things that make us vulnerable. Now, just for full transparency, I am not someone who experiences anxiety or some of the physical chemical imbalances that some people that I know deal with on a regular basis. And I'm not talking to you today if you have an anxiety disorder or it's something that's chronic or if you've been given medication. That's not the realm I'm talking about today. I'm not an expert in that, and I don't have the qualifications to talk about how to deal with chemical, physical anxiety issues. So please get support. If you need help getting support, I do know a few amazing experts out there who can help you. So if you need some support or resources, please let me know. I'm happy to point you in the right direction. What I am talking about is the anxious overwhelm that happens from living life today, living in a world that is in the midst of massive chaos on many different layers: political, social, family, education, money, home, all kinds of things feel like it's one big, like someone literally took the globe of us and shook it all up, right? Maybe it's been shooken up for a long time, but now everything's landing not where we thought it was going to land. And so wherever you are in this life, whether you're managing children at home, whether you're managing a business that has had to be shut down, whether you work online and are figuring out where you fit in this new landscape, whether you are dealing with your own health and wellness in this new world where you can't go to the gym and you can't go to yoga in the ways that you used to. Maybe you're just stressed out, like we all are right now. Like every single human being right now living on the earth is experiencing some form of elevated stress. It's just what it is. How can you see what's happening and not experience it, right? How we handle it and how it manifests in our physical body, in our spirit, in our activities, in our family is going to be very unique to who you are. So on a personal note, I was sharing this in my Divine Self-Care Circle. I go live every Monday in there to share some happenings and news and updates and some tarot card readings, fun stuff. And I was sharing that yesterday I was started the day actually really beautifully, and I did a group meditation in a new program that I'm part of, and I wrote in my journal, and I went for a walk, had my coffee, and then some point throughout the day, my family was sort of doing things around the house, and I decided to check my email because I'm waiting for a specific email. And I saw a newsletter that I've been reading for many years, and they're usually really good at sharing like the dirt behind the dirt, like really good, well-researched content. And so part of, I don't know why I clicked it, but I did. And I ended up reading the entire thing, which is extremely intense. I guess an intense take on the world today about civil war and just politics, all stuff. It was a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to get into it because I can feel my heart already tensing up from just even thinking about going back there. And I felt this like anxiety start to bubble up. And I felt this knot in my belly, and I felt like just this overwhelming sense of doom, right? And all of a sudden, all these plans that I had for the day, doing my work, prepping for the week, writing, like all this stuff just went into a different compartment. And so I saw it happen because I observe myself. I'm aware of like what happens inside my inner body, inner landscape. I saw this ego fear taking over, and the part of me that was in a conscious, aware, co-creative space started to shut down. And I quickly went out for a walk, and I still could not shake it. I just couldn't shake it because it felt very intense. And I think this is a really powerful example of probably what a lot of you go through when you read something, you see something on social media, and it just kicks you off track. And all of a sudden, the plans you had, the ideas, the visions you had for that day, for your family, start to be sideswiped, and you're overwhelmed. And it's very easy to go down this slippery slope of overwhelm and anxiety. It's not like I'm telling you to just go do a quick thing and heal that overwhelm in a moment. What I want to emphasize here today is how to deal with overwhelm and anxiety is just like all other emotions that we have such a hard time dealing with because we want to put a Band-Aid on really quickly. We want to go meditate out of it, go walk out of it, all that stuff, right? Now, I know it's kind of weird because this is what I teach, right? I teach you to move through emotions through embodiment practices like dancing and movement, meditation, breath work, nature, speaking it out, writing it out, all those wonderful things. But what happens is, I believe, is that sometimes it doesn't work because we haven't actually given it being the fear, the anxiety, the anger, the sadness, we haven't actually given it its full scope of existence, right? We try to curb it. We try to shut it down, stuff it down. We try to put nail polish on it, right? Make it look good. And that's not how emotions work a lot of the time. We need to be able to sit with it, be with it, understand what's happening in our body. And this is the same exact thing that we do when we are learning the inner compass of our body. We need to learn what a hell yes feels like. We need to learn what a no feels like, just in the same way that we need to understand and recognize how anxiety feels in your body, how anxious thoughts sound in your head, how overwhelmed feels in your body, so that you're not glossing over it. And in fact, you start to become really adept and attuned to your body signals. Then you understand that you can not only give your body and your mind and your spirit exactly what it needs, but you can start to develop a dialogue that's really powerful with your body, right? I mean, it's like a toddler having a tantrum. I know I used to think this was the right thing, was to distract, right? Like, oh, you're okay, you're fine. Let's just go look at something happy. But the problem is the emotion hadn't gone all the way through in order to be released. And so I'm so grateful I found this book, and I think it was called Playful Parenting. And I can't remember the author, but you can Google it, or look it up, or wherever, whatever resource, go to the library. I remember one thing he said in there, I think there was a male author. He said, when your child is having a big emotion, like a tantrum or whatever it is, the most powerful thing you can do for your child is to sit next to them and to let them know you're there. If you can hug them, hug them. If you can just put your hand on their back, do that. But just sit next to them, be with them, and let them have their experience. Don't shame them for having tears or anger, or because the truth is, the reason we want to stop that emotion from happening is because it makes us uncomfortable, right? in the guise of wanting to have a happy child, we curb that emotion. And that was probably something that was done to you when you were younger as well. There's, the rare parent that's aware enough to let their child, or the rare person that's emotionally intelligent enough to have other people let them have their damn emotions, right? Without trying to quelch them or soothe them or distract from them. So I want you to give that reparenting concept to yourself as well. If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't distract yourself too quickly. When I teach self-care, it's not about being in la la land all the time, right? In fact, it's anything but. It's opposite. It is being with yourself, understanding your emotions, saying I'm angry if I'm angry, saying I'm upset, or this doesn't work for me, or no thank you, or no, right? God, if we just learn to embrace what was happening, and then we can sit through that emotion until the storm clouds pass enough. And sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 20 minutes, sometimes it's 2 days, right? It doesn't mean it takes over your entire life. It just means you're acknowledging that you have felt something so powerful and so intense that you're staying with it. And you can feel it in your body. And you can do things that feel soothing. You can take a bath. You can walk in nature. Nature knows cycles and seasons and how to be in harmony with whatever is. Like the tree doesn't rush through winter because it wants to see the beautiful leaves again. It just is. It's cold and it's it's miserable, but that's the season. Okay? And sometimes you have a season that lasts for a little while and sometimes it lasts longer. But if you can be with it, journal through it, acknowledge it. Sometimes this whole like manifesting law of attraction culture makes you believe that you have to be freaking happy all the time in order to match the vibe of some unknown vortex. No, that's not what is true. What's true is truth, authenticity, expressing your emotions, allowing yourself to be who you are is actually how you attain that clear, pure manifesting ability, because you recognize truth in your body, right? You can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to your body, but you can understand how much control you have over your thoughts, right? So your overwhelm and your anxiety are happening, but you also have the ability to make meaning from it. It does not mean that your whole life is over. It does not mean that you have no friends. It does not mean that the world is collapsing. Maybe in some ways it is, and that's okay. Because some things are pretty shitty in the world right now and they need to collapse. It's not okay that there are people in the world who don't feel safe walking in the street. That's not okay, right? That's not okay. But it doesn't mean that we have to shut down. It means we have to acknowledge and listen. And from that place, we decide, what can I do? How can I be more aware? Okay. So in this anxiety, overwhelm inducing world we're in right now, and that's like true for pretty much any time, right? But right now, even more so. I want to invite you to be with whatever you're being with. I invite you to decide if you are the thinker of your thoughts, which you are. And this is why self-care practices come in so beautifully, because it helps you create that gap in recognition. Oh, wait a minute. I'm making this mean that my life is over. I'm making this mean that I shouldn't do the good things I want to do. I'm making this mean that happiness is not welcome here in this house because I'm so scared of what's to come, right? You're making it mean other things than reality. You can choose meaning. You can choose meaning. And from that choosing meaning, you can be empowered to make a new choice, different decision, ask for help, reach out for support. You're not alone. Instead of shutting down and going inward, which is, I know that really, really well. It's something I used to do all the time. But now I'm more than likely to be brave for those 3 seconds that it takes to say, I'm feeling anxious today. I'm feeling anxious. And then I can be witnessed and I can instantly feel some of that pressure valve release. Okay. So here's the 3 steps to anxiety and overwhelm in the moment. One is acknowledge it. Learn what it feels like in your body. Become familiar with it. Just know that it's okay. You're not alone. 2 is seek witness, seek support. If you're not part of some community, I invite you into the Divine Self-Care Circle. We have a trial currently happening, so you can come on in, check it out, see if you make a connection. This is a circle I've been holding for 6 years now almost. I know how to hold space for all emotions. All is welcome. Okay, so if you want to join the circle, it's an ongoing community. Come and stay as long as you want. I've had people who've been there for the entire 6 years and some people who just stepped in recently. So you won't be alone. And it's a place where you can have support and come in and say, wow, I'm having a shitty day. Or you can come in and say, I'm having a great day. Or you can come in and say you need some support or resources or whatever it is. If you're interested in trying out the circle, you can find that link in the show notes, in the link below, if you're watching on video, or you can find it on Instagram on my account bio, Elena_Lipson. And the third step, so the first step is to acknowledge and be in it. Second step is to seek support. And third step is to reframe the meaning. What does it mean about you? What does it mean? Does it mean it's time for a change? Does it mean that you need to up your self-care, right? What does it mean for you? And this is not on the list of 3 things, but in general, I find that the more overwhelmed or anxious or stressed I am in my life, it means that I've fallen off my morning practice. My morning practice is something I've been teaching and teaching probably for the last 7 years, practicing for over 10, maybe 12 years now. And it has, like, hands down, it's been tried by thousands of people. Just this morning, I had a client tell me, like, oh my God, it changed everything in just 3 days. It changes your physical energy, your emotional energy, your spiritual energy. If you have not tried my Magic Morning Practice, where I help you break down and create a morning routine that works for you and your life, no matter what stage of life you're in, check my show notes. It's always available for free on my Instagram account, Elena_Lipson. It is a free gift I give to you to show you what a simple self-care practice can do to help you reframe your day, empower your thoughts and meanings, and to activate your inner pilot light. So that's for you. I'm telling you for sure, I've been working with clients for a long time. When they fall off track with their goals and their ideas, it's because they've stopped doing the morning practice. I'm telling you, it's true. I know it's true. Okay, my friends, that is what I have for you today. I would love to hear how this was for you. What did it bring up for you? What are you thinking right now? And what meaning are you assigning that thinking? I'd love to hear from you, whether you leave a review here on iTunes, share this episode with a few friends so you can talk about it, or find me over on Instagram and DM me. I love connecting with people who listen to the podcast. And if you're inspired to join the circle, like so many of you are after listening to a podcast episode, you are so welcome to come in and try the circle for just $27 for the first month. You have access to live group calls, the recordings, all of my self-care content and courses, and you get to know me and I'll get to know you. And that's a good thing, because it's really my mission here on earth to help you to create an inner world that is inspired and empowered and authentic to who you really are, and to just strip away all the bullshit of the layers, conditioning, and the false agreements that we've been given just by sheer existing in this world. And it's time for each of us to really step into our own unique soul blueprint. Okay, that's what I want to help you do. Alrighty, it's time for me to go nourish myself with some lunch and go get some sunshine. It is a gorgeous day here in Pacific Northwest. And we don't get very, very much summer, but this year it seems like we have gotten an incredible summer, and I'm going to go out and enjoy it, get some vitamin D. All right, I'll see you on the next episode. This is Elena Lipson. Reach out if you need to, and most importantly, go take care of you. Thank you so much for listening and learning about the new divine self-care way of being in your life, business, and the bedroom based on the divine feminine metrics of success: pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. If you're ready to bust the myth of overwhelm and tap into an inspired start to each day, I've put together a free video series for you to help you start each day with energy, inspiration, and ignite that inner pilot light which attracts joy, magic, and synchronicity. You can access my 3-step magic morning practice to help you ignite your inner light and attract the abundance that you're craving. Head on over to elenalipson.com/gift. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would so love if you share it with a friend, a sister, a mother, a daughter, and please leave a review. That is how the magic starts to ripple out. Here's wishing you a day full of beauty, magic, and divine self-care. I'll see you next time at the Meditations and Musings podcast.